Hello, hello, one and all. Welcome to the Townsend Labs YouTube live stream, Q&A, song feedback session, all sorts of good stuff this November 1st. Hope you're all doing really, really well. Hope you all had wonderful Halloween, spooky Halloween. Of course, being safe and socially distancing and all that, but also having a little bit of fun. I actually spent quite a bit of time this weekend just having a blast with all of the amazing Spell of Love challenge submissions that we got in. That deadline expired yesterday night, so if you're just now hearing about it, sorry, because we just wrapped that up. We got like something, I think like a little under 200 submissions. And since we're giving away 2 Sphere L22 mics, that means that your chances, you could be one of the 1% to win one of those mics. And it's actually not that bad of the odds. So hopefully, fingers crossed that, you'll be among the few to win one of those 2 mics. But yeah, I just wanted to give a huge thank you and a huge shout out to all the folks that participated. Really, the response has been amazing, and just kind of going through, I actually have that here, I think, open. Just the on SoundCloud, going through these tracks, obviously people use the hashtag Spell of Love Challenge and made sure that we see this, but also the submissions we got on the website, just really, really cool stuff. We made a public playlist on our SoundCloud account with just a couple of ones that, upon first listen, we thought were really, really great. But I can also say that we are actually going to have Cassidy come on a live stream in the near future, and we'll just listen to some of these tracks, and I'm not going to play them for him in advance, so I'm just going to throw those at him, and then we'll do like a Grammy winner reacts to remix or mixes, and just kind of see what his response is, because there's some really, really spooky stuff, some really cool stuff, and everything in between. It's really been great. This is the first time that we've done a giveaway like this, and I'm just I'm super stoked. I think it's been really, really well received by you guys. Everybody got creative. Fingers crossed that we can do this again. I really would love to do this again. Give us a shout out, if you have a specific genre that you want to do, whether it's mixing or remixing. Obviously, we have to look at like kind of what project could be well suited for that. This one was just a slam dunk because Cassidy and Jason, they recorded this track for us, and it was just so perfect for doing something like this. But we definitely want to do it again in the future. So let us know if you have any thoughts on that. Just a quick shout out to those people that are already on the stream. There's John Paul, Phoenix, Arizona, Jasper in the Netherlands, Windy City with Jerome, and Davin Hamrick in Northern California. I'm personally actually based in Cologne, Germany, and my guest today, Ian, is, even though he's from the States, he's been living in Berlin for many years. So we're both in Europe right now, where it's the evening, and you folks, of course, over on the West Coast are just in the middle of your day. It's actually been a perfect day for me today to just listen to some great folk music, and that's of course the focus today. Kind of a slightly gloomy fall day. Yesterday was amazing, but today it's just been a little bit meh. Moin Moin from Hamburg. Awesome. Matt Griffo, of course, in Chicago, Miami, all over the place. Oh, and that's actually something I wanted to say about the Spell of Love challenge as well. It's just been amazing to see where all the submissions are coming from. I mean, we had a good chunk of people from the States, but then, Canada, South America, Europe, we had India, we had Taiwan, Japan, Australia. It's just been extremely cool. I mean, this is exactly what I had hoped for, that we would get people from all over the planet together to get creative and to work on these tracks. So, like I said, we're going to be announcing that separately. But definitely keep your eyes peeled for an announcement about a live stream with Cassidy Turbin, where we'll go through those some of those submissions. And as we had announced it in the beginning, we're not going to judge those entries. It was just kind of a for fun thing. So those winners will be picked around November 10th, and it'll just be a random draw, right? So it has nothing to do with kind of the judging and the feedback that we're doing. So yeah. With all of that being said, I'm sure that some of you folks are very, very excited and curious about this new patent that we just got granted. I'm going to open this page here on our website. You'll find it on the homepage. And there's actually a picture here of Ian Hooper, our guest today, who will be joining us in just a minute. This is the announcement for the patent that we got granted not too long ago, and it's the second patent. We already have a patent for the basic kind of Sphere technology, the microphone modeling technology, and now there's another patent that's very specific when it comes to acoustic baffling and having a microphone that interacts with that. So I can't get into details about that, but all I can say is that it's coming soon, and it's going to be awesome. So definitely make sure that you subscribe to our email newsletter. I'm going to put the link in here right now, and also make sure that you follow us on social, so you'll be among the first to know about this. Let's see. Well, who else is on the stream right now? Berlin, awesome. Deep south of Italy, amazing. Cool. Well, with all of that being said, one thing I want to make sure that you guys know is with the Spell of Love challenge, even though it's been wrapped up, you can still go to that page and actually download those multi-tracks. So if you're just joining now and this is the first time you've heard about it, even though you can't win the mic anymore, you can still download those multi-tracks and play around with them. Really, really cool stuff. Horns, drums, vocals, a wide range of instruments. And this is all available for you for free. You can download the free Sphere plugin from the website as well. And play around with that. And it's a great way to familiarize yourself with the features and the sounds of the Sphere L22. Cool. All right. Well, I think now it's about time that I bring our guest on to today's stream. And I'm super honored that we were able to pull it off on pretty short notice. Without further ado, my friend Ian Hooper, Mighty Oaks. How's it going, man?
Hello, everybody.
So it's really great to have you on the stream. for those maybe who are not super familiar with Mighty Oaks, you guys are a three-piece band. You've got 3 albums out, I think, right? And you've been around for quite some time, and just writing amazing songs, making great music. And I think you guys have kind of covered a bit of a range when it comes to like how you record and how you produce and all of that, from like kind of high-end vintage studios to home recording and kind of everything in between. And I think, you and I and the band and I, we met in September when restrictions due to COVID weren't so severe, and we actually met for a whole day and did a video shoot. So that's all coming out, and I don't want to give away too much of that, but I think, maybe just give a quick summary of how you guys have been working lately.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it. We've kind of run the gauntlet of recording possibilities. We started out super DIY, and that's how we made our first album, and it took off. And then we went to this, Bear Creek studio outside of Seattle, Washington, which is a beautiful studio with all the gear that any audiophile could want to have in one. And yeah, I mean, due to COVID, we basically decided it just made the most sense to kind of hunker down here in Berlin. I have this little studio in the basement of my house, thank goodness. So, during lockdown, even though things have been really mild here in Germany compared to, a lot of other countries, it just made sense for us to keep it as small as possible. Just Craig, Claudio, and myself, the 3 of us, we'd meet here and work on music. I did a lot of writing just by myself. We were very fortunate to do a big tour at the beginning of the year through Europe, and
then you kind of had to cut it short, right? Unfortunately.
Well, we finished the first leg of our European tour, and then our North America tour was canceled, and the second leg of the European tour was then canceled. And so, in a sense, we cut a lot short. But we're not the only band, obviously, that had to do that. My heart goes out to people who couldn't play any tours. I mean, at least we got to, and so that also gives me a lot of energy to come back and write music. So it just worked out real well to have a lot of time on the back of a tour to write. And now we're just focusing on the next album, which probably every single other band in the world is doing.
Right. Well, and so if I remember correctly, on the last album, you guys actually started using the Sphere L22. I think at first for your vocals, right? And then you got into using it for more and more instruments.
Yeah, so I went and did like a bit of a test session with a guy named Nikolai Potthoff, who's here in Berlin. We've known each other for quite some time. The music industry isn't that big over here. Right. And we'd never linked up to do anything before, and we were looking for a new producer for the 3rd album. And I went to a studio just to see how it is to work together. And we started like writing a song together, and he had the L22 there set up, and he was like, "Yo, jump up on the mic and like do your vocal take." And it was a mic I'd never seen before. We just come back on our second album at Bear Creek, everything, super old vintage Neumann mics everywhere.
It's got lights in it.
And I stepped up there and I was like, "Dude, there are lights inside of this microphone. Do you know that?" And he was like, "I know, don't worry." Same reaction the first time I stepped in front of the mic, and I was like, "Okay, whatever," and then, we've been, like you said, we've been around for a little while, and started singing into it. And, the best thing is that you get a really inspirational sound, when you hear yourself singing, and it makes you want to, perform better. And it was, immediate. He kind of, he checked out the software, which was all new to me, the mic modeling. Yeah. We figured out what mic sounded good, and, he dialed that in, and it was just a real pleasure to sing into. I think we kept that first take for the song that we ended up writing together. It was on the album, Forget Tomorrow. And it was like, it was so good for my vocals always. And then, the guys, I was like, "You got to try out this mic." And they do a lot of background vocals. And then, we have a lot of acoustic instruments, and we basically used it all over the place. And so at the end of the production, I was like, okay, I obviously have to buy one of these mics for myself. And the rest is history.
Yeah, cool. And now it's kind of become essentially your workhorse mic for a whole range of instruments at your home studio, right?
Definitely. I mean, I'm not like I have a couple rooms back here, and it's like we can do a lot down here. It's no like amazing big, all wood studio or anything, but we can do everything we need to for sure for writing and even tracking down here. And I was always looking for mics that are versatile. And once we found this mic, it was just like the obvious solution for me to get one of these. I knew I could record drums with it, vocals, got a couple of pianos in the house. It's just, yeah, I can put it, I throw it on the amps, regardless if it's a twin or a champ. And it's like, yeah, it shines everywhere. Obviously I don't have enough of the mics, but, I use a 57 every now and again. But
right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And what do you gravitate towards for your own vocals? What mic model?
What we used on the whole record was from the Putnam mic locker, and that's the BP 251A.
Yeah.
That one just ended up being the one that sounded good on my voice. I mean, yeah, I don't know why. It's just,
well, that's an amazing mic.
yeah. So
you actually got a chance to play around with some new models that have not been released yet.
I did. And I've been told I'm not allowed to talk about the models or why they sound so good. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of moved away from the Putnam mic locker, and I've started using your guys' stuff more because there are a couple on there that are really good. Also, this the new release you guys are putting out there. So yeah, my eyes have been opened to new candidates.
Very cool. Yeah, well, I'm just curious if that, what your first impressions were of that, and it'd be interesting to see if you actually end up switching from the 251 for good, or if that's just here's something new and it's exciting, or if it's actually gonna stick. Maybe at some point down the road we can reveal what mic model that is. But of course, right now it's all zipped up.
Yeah, we're gonna start working with Nikolai on the 4th album here, and
cool, awesome.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that he'll be excited now that if he's listening to figure out what mic that is, and he's gonna use it.
Awesome, very cool. How do you do you find that now that you have the L22, that has had an impact on your songwriting and production process? Because it's kind of like, well, in the old days, potentially, you would have done your songwriting and you wouldn't have had access to the mic that you would use for the final vocals, but now you do. Does that change how you record and produce the songs? Because you could be essentially cutting the final vocal at any moment, right? It could be the very first demo, like you were saying.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what I always wanted for down here. Like if I'm down here writing, I mean, I don't get too caught up in having my DAW open the whole time and tracking everything like pristine and perfect. But like if I am doing vocals and acoustic guitar, I always make sure that those are dialed in like on point so that we can use them later. Because that's like my main job in the band is singing and playing acoustic guitar and mandolin and electric and stuff. But like I know that likely the guys are gonna play everything else that I threw into the session better than I'm gonna play it. And it's also nice that instruments go into their hands, that everybody plays an instrument differently, and they have their own kind of signature way of doing so. And it just speeds up my workflow a lot to know that okay, like the mics are always cabled, they're always set up. Want them to be set up. I got the vocal one behind me. I got the drum overhead set up already on the kit, and I can just go over there and unmute the channels and play. And,
you don't want to get bogged down by the technical stuff.
Exactly, and so it's just a great mic to have, knowing that if I write a demo down here, we can use what I recorded, and I'll probably be pushing more for using those things because there's a lot of there's a lot of like innocence when you record something for the first time. There's kind of that magic, and then when you try to go back and like reinvent the wheel, oftentimes it doesn't have that certain charm to it that maybe your demo did. And so it's it's really nice to know that the quality of the recordings are good enough, because the mic and the Apollo I'm using.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we should get into these song submissions, and well, actually, maybe before we get into that, let's look at some questions here, because I already saw the question, how do we submit our music? So that's definitely something I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But just kind of going through, what do we have? Great to see more people join the stream. Very cool. Let's see. Ryan Hicks, hi from Canada. Love my Sphere. Had mine since they came out, and I love mine. I recorded all of my projects in the last 2 years with it. Ryan Hicks sounds familiar. I think that was on our spreadsheet potentially. Let's see. So there were a couple of questions here about Mighty Oaks. Maybe we should touch on that.
Yeah, Jasper, you were
Yeah.
you're putting out some questions here, man. I don't know if you're still watching. You know, the growth that you experienced as a band. I deleted all my photos from Instagram. I know, man, crazy. I don't know. There's the stuff with COVID here. I mean, like basically, just COVID. Obviously, it's a mess for everybody and all musicians, and
right.
We're trying to make the most of it. You know, what's going to happen? I don't know. Every country's dealt with stuff differently, and I feel like Germany's done a pretty good job. You know,
we'll see where it goes.
We'll see where it goes. Obviously, I think sometimes it's annoying when I see like people going to the fitness studio and working out, masks on, and I can't play a show. But what are you gonna do? It's not up to me to whine about it. We're in a very fortunate position. There are a lot of people who aren't, and I just, our whole crew, everyone's suffering, and I hope that it gets sorted out at some point, but it's not gonna happen anytime soon from my perspective, and we just have to we have to bear it now. And we're writing music, which I feel like everybody else is doing, and the important thing is to channel all the fears and maybe the frustration and put that down in the way that we can do it best. And the reason why I deleted all my Instagram things was just everybody's online right now, and I just felt it was time for me to get rid of all the photos and maybe a new start or something. I don't know.
Start something
Pictures
fresh,
up there when I was a kid before I even had a band, and it's kind of weird to be in the public eye. And so it is what it is.
Yeah. So I saw. Let's see, where was that? Shiro, how do we submit our music? So let's get into these Spotify song submissions a little bit. So I can share my screen here a little for a moment. This is on the Townsend Labs website. We actually started this. You can see it on the date here. We started this back in April with an email newsletter, and we're probably going to drive some attention to that one more time. And this has just been open, and we're going to keep this open. So this is just a place where you can submit tracks that you've been working on. That obviously we'd love to hear the L22 in action. But this is just kind of our way of trying to get you guys out there engaged to let us know what you're working on, because oftentimes, for us as a mic manufacturer, like we have to typically chase down, who's recording with the mic, right? We know kind of who bought one, but then when something comes out, we typically don't know. I mean, credits on Spotify and Tidal and whatever, they're non-existent to okay anyway, and you never see like what mic it was recorded on. So yeah, this is just a great way for us to hear like some of the music that's been made with the L22, and it's also a great way for you guys out there to hopefully then reach an even bigger audience, and we'll go through and I've been kind of coming back to all these submissions in the last couple of months. We had a lot of other projects that we've been working on. So this is actually the first time that we've gone through like one genre, and we've put kind of our favorites on a public Spotify playlist, and then there's going to be a blog post on our website pretty soon where we have those embedded and we talk about it a little bit. And of course, as I was working on this, I was like, well, who am I to judge? I can just kind of go by my taste, but I figured it would be great to have somebody join us and chime in on these tracks and give some feedback, and that's where Ian came into play. So I'm really excited that we're able to do this, because I think it just adds to the whole experience, and hopefully is something that you guys out there will appreciate. So if you have a track that you've been working on, the only thing that we ask is that it's already released on Spotify, because that's just the platform that we've chosen for this playlist. Obviously, we could get into a discussion about Spotify and all that, but the truth is that it's a platform that most people are using, and so the likelihood that somebody will publish a track on Spotify is just pretty good. So that's why we chose Spotify. But yeah, and then you can just upload your track, give us some basic information, like what instruments you recorded with the L22, and then we'll review that and we'll put it on the Townsend Labs public playlists. And so let me switch to Spotify here. Let's see. Here we go. Spotify. So this is what it looks like right now. And we've already added quite a few tracks. Of course, there are a couple of Mighty Oaks tracks on there as well, since the L22 was used on those. And then a couple ones that we've just noticed, whether it was on YouTube or people send us emails. As always, you can always send us an email if you don't, if you have something that was exclusively released on vinyl. Send us an email. Let us know about it. You can just send to my email address, Julian@TownsendLabs, or contact@townsendlabs.com. Any of those work. And we're always really excited to hear what you guys are working on. And I think so. This list will grow as we get more tracks from you guys out there. As we kind of go by whatever resonates with us and whatever we feel like is just a well-crafted recording, and then that's kind of pretty much it. And then we'll put things on the playlist. And so with Ian, basically the way we approached this was I sent him a whole spreadsheet with all the submissions. I think there were 30, 35 or something like that maybe. And you went through and wrote down some notes. And interestingly, I think that was pretty much identical with some variations, sort of what I had pre-selected. So that seemed like we were on a pretty good track. And what do you want to start with, Ian? Which one, when you went through, which one was the first one where you were like, oh wow, this is awesome?
I mean, they were in no order, and just to also to say this, like, who am I to say what's a good song or not or whatever? Like, everybody's songs that were on there were totally great, and
right.
I'm no judge of music. I am no tastemaker or anything like that. I think that everybody who had the courage to record the music and to send it in, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I just picked a couple that I really enjoyed, from a songwriter perspective, from a production perspective. And the first one, when I was going through the list, is it's a bit more of like a pop production. It's pretty sparse, but the woman has just a really great voice. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the name. It's got one of those funny letters in it that Americans don't learn when they go to school. And I think it's pronounced Turið. I think she's, I don't know, from the Faroe Islands, perhaps.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
She's got a track on the playlist called "McCabe," and it's
that's right. Yeah.
Drenched in reverb, and her voice is just really fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's this one right here. The cave, and I think it's Turið or Turið. We don't know. We tried to research it. It's probably Turið, but definitely. I mean, there's a new track that came out this year that's also amazing. I think this came out in 2019, I believe. But yeah, it's just like everything about it is just it's just really, really cool. So why don't we have a listen to that one? Here we go. I say heaven would always believe in love, so I knocked on the door. I stood up till let me out to sea. I only heard it all before. But troubles got me. I'm falling till I find a cure. Time's up. Just amazing. Really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of that. Just that super minimal heartbeat drum that she's got in there.
Yeah.
And she kind of lulls you into this like sense of warmth in the verses, and then just she goes in that higher register in the chorus. It's just really, 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 really good. It's a voice that everybody can envy.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about like what pop music is, and what's credible and what's not. But like that's just a really fantastic pop song, and really, really, really nice. So yeah, that one stuck out to me for sure, just because her voice is so good. And then let's see, another one that really stuck out to me. Her songwriting, I love.
Actually, hold on. Before you get into that, I just wanted to mention. So this was recorded by Ola Meyer, and it featured. Let's see. This was the Cave. Oh yeah, and so this was the. It featured the L22 on vocals on the on this track, with the Ocean Wave 49 model. And interestingly, like there's another track by the same artist, and that one was there he used the 251 as well. So the 251 E though, not the A, although those are pretty close to one another. But also used the L22 for background vocals and strings. So yeah, I mean, I highly recommend checking out more of that music from that artist, because it's just all amazing. I was really blown away. Like that was the first track where I was just listening here in my studio and I was just like, wow, I just have to listen to this really, really loud. Which one was the next one that you wanted to mention?
There's another woman on the playlist. Her name's Cayley Thomas, and she sent 2 songs in, and she recorded all her vocals with the mic. And I don't know, I loved both her songs really so much. But I think the one that we have here is, which one is it? Two Minds? Or?
I actually have both on there, 2 Minds and Midnight Hours.
Oh, okay, all right. I don't know which one we listen to. Maybe. Oh God, I don't know. I can't remember which one I like more now. I don't know. They're just so good. She, like, the production of the tracks is really good, and I don't know if she produced the stuff herself, but her songwriting and her choice of sounds that she's using in the production is just like, yeah, really vibey, really cool stuff. Yeah, I think in the beginning of like Midnight Hour, she's got this just such like a super meaty bass that you just want to chew on it, and it's like her voice is like counterpart, and then like this Rhodes sets in, and everything's in the high range in the chorus. It's really cool. And then I don't know, this Two Minds one, it's like totally drenched in spring reverb at the beginning, and then the song like dries up, and her voice and the style of her singing is so cool. The drums are really tasteful. I'm looking at my notes here. It's really it's great songwriting, great work. Maybe Two Minds. I think that's the one I dug.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Okay. Let me just go back here.
I can't remember.
I hope that these tracks are going to stay in our YouTube stream. It's possible that they get blocked, but I hope not. We'll see. But for the moment, it should work. Here we go. Oh, let me go back here one more time. Turn this up.
Yeah, it's what a great track.
Yeah.
Feel good.
It's gonna take a long time. You should have started earlier. They're gonna laugh when they realize you're only a pretender. What will you do
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
great
nice
track.
one.
I mean, that's a cool band. Really, really cool band.
Let's see. What are my notes here on this one? So there we are. So this was tracked by Steve. Oh yeah, Steve Cayley, and all vocals were tracked with the L22. Interestingly, on this lead, so he tends to use ribbon mics for the vocals. So on this track, it was the Oceanway K3A, which is modeled after an RCA KU3A. Very cool ribbon microphone. Kind of a shorter ribbon, but it's a super cardioid, which makes it well suited for recording vocals. It's got a bit more of a presence to it. And then on the other track, which we also have in the playlist, on Midnight Hours, he used the RB 4038, which is a very dark sounding ribbon mic model. So I feel like now that I know this and I remember sort of what the vocal sounds like, it definitely has that kind of vintagey, silky texture, if you will. So great choice for sure on the mic models there.
Yeah, she's cool for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean there are any number of other people. I mean Emily Hough, she's got a track on there called Glass, and she did like acoustic guitar, lead vocals, backup vocals with the L22. I mean, seems pretty young, and like the craftsmanship in her songwriting was very impressive. I mean, like
right.
I only wish I could have written songs that good when I was that young.
Yeah, so she was on The Voice, season 15 in the US.
Okay.
Yeah, and this was, let's see, that was recorded by Kenny Schick, and was the 251A.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's see here. Acoustic guitar.
Yeah, lead vocals and backups. I think.
Yeah, and acoustic guitar was a combo of the 4038 and the SD 451.
Hmm.
And lead vocals was the Putnam 251A. Oh, there you go. Backup vocals were the LD 67 NOS.
Yeah, I mean she's got a little bit of country in it, and I'm a bit of a sucker for that. So,
right.
It's I don't know. It's a really great track.
Very cool. Very
If
cool.
you want to listen to that one, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. How do I turn up the? Actually, let's. I think I gotta change my mouse here real quick. That's an unfortunate situation.
I can play it from my computer. I don't know if that works.
If you want to get it started.
Here we go. Let's see. You hear it?
Yeah.
So good.
Watch your step, the floor is made of eggshells. I'm feeling fine, but nothing can explain how. Every day when I wake up, I feel so strange. Watch your mouth, your words they cut right through me. And every step I take, the floor is falling under me. Every day, everywhere I go, I feel this way. Oh no, the room is spinning faster. Oh no, my mind is made of paper.
Yeah, I'll take over.
You understand the words
Should I pause it?
I'm saying.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
Watch your mouth, your words they cut right through me. And every step I take, the floor is falling under me. Every day, everywhere I go, I feel this way. Oh no, the room is spinning faster. Oh no, my mind is made of paper. Why can't you understand the words I'm saying?
Cool. Yeah, great track. Chris Townsend, our founder and CEO and CTO, he just commented he loves the Claire Kelly track that I have on here. That's actually one that was not part of these Spotify submissions. But how about we have a listen to that one for a little bit, and then Ian, maybe you have some thoughts on that one as well. Just kind of a spontaneous reaction.
Yeah, I mean, if the boss says he likes something, you go with it, you know.
Yeah, well. Let's see. That's this track here. Claire Kelly, Running Out. Let's see how that one works.
It's not the miles, it's not the minutes between us, it's not the days that I'm counting down until I see it. It's not the pillow that I'm holding instead of you when I'm sleeping. Well, that's not the issue. I'm just running out of ways to say I miss you. It's not the loneliness, it's not the table for one, it's not the single glass of red wine on the counter when the day is done. It's not the lack of your laughter I'm dying to hear in person. Well, that's not the issue. I'm just running out of ways.
Ian says he likes cello.
Yeah, I mean, cello and acoustic guitar, I'm into it.
Yeah, what did you think of the just the vocal quality overall, and like the production of it, just the sound of it?
I mean, people singing into an L22 usually sounds pretty good.
Very good.
That's why I do it.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a nice track for sure, and I definitely felt like the cello was really well placed in that one, so I dug that one for sure. There's this one track here that we've been playing lots of female vocal tracks, and there's this one here by yes, for sure. There's this one here by Niall McCabe, and that I think we both loved quite a bit. Shall we have a listen to that one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm half Irish. My mother was from Dublin. She's passed away, unfortunately, but it was super important to her that despite me growing up in Seattle, that we spend a lot of time in Ireland. So she took us there a lot. Had a big family over there, as you do. And so Neil's actually from a small island off the western coast of Ireland, and so he's got a warm spot in my heart anyway.
Yeah,
but
I have his picture up here on his on a Spotify page.
Yeah, but it's it's a super nice song. He's got a great voice, and the track's it's pretty soulful. So, and I love this question that he poses in the chorus, like, what is our love worth? So it's definitely making some cool music. I'm sure it'd be fun to sit down with him, have a beer or have a whiskey.
So yeah, let's have a listen right away.
Yeah,
check
please.
it out.
Always gave a lot of time, dear. I waited till you speak. It's time to have a little patience with me. We're talking other language I thought was out of reach. I thought I didn't have a right to speak. I'm not into second chances. I'm not into retreats. I'm just trying to make a love complete. What I wanna know, baby, what I wanna know first is what is my love worth? What is our 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 love worth? Ooh. I'm not looking for a favor. Won't be getting on my knees.
Yeah, I love the sound of the drums on that one too. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
Nice. And this one, let's see. What do you think? What mic model was that on the vocals? What would you say?
I don't know. It's pretty warm.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't know, but maybe it's just his, chilled out voice. I mean, I don't think he wasn't using like a crisp vocal mic on that one. I don't think.
That's true. Well, why don't we ask that? Why don't we pose the question? Take a guess. What vocal mic model was that we just heard? It was the L22 on the vocals, of course. Yeah, let's see what people think.
47?
Sorry?
47?
Well, let's see. Okay, let's play one more track, and people have the chance to think about and make a suggestion and see what they think of what mic model was used on that track. So let us know for sure. Yeah,
There's another track by Luna Rose called "Worth" that you have on there.
Yeah.
And I said that this was like a super great showcase for the versatility of the mic.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because it says here in the notes that she did vocals with it. She did, a stereo room mic for the drums. She recorded guitars with it and percussion. And so this is a lot of like how we're using the mic. Like we're using it all over the place like she does, and it's it gives you great results. So like, this is maybe a track worth listening to because she didn't only record the vocals with it, she recorded all the sources with it on the track.
And I will say that like we got like a complete spectrum. Like, there were people who just used it on vocals, which of course is pretty common to use the L22 on vocals. But then like acoustic guitars, drum overheads, electric guitars, just all over the map really. So that's a good idea. Let's listen to that one, and you guys get 2 minutes to think about what mic model we heard earlier. Here we go.
From New York?
I know. All right, great track. I actually love the room sound on those drums. Muted. Sorry. Here we go. Sorry. Now we're back. Yeah, that was tracked by Sean O'Graham, and no, I'm sorry, Johnny Taylor. I was on the wrong line here. Johnny Taylor. The Luna Rose Worth track was tracked by him, and yeah, and like you said, it was the LD17T, which is the model of the Soyuz 17 tube condenser mic that we did. That was on the lead vocals, and then the LD563 on the background vocals, LD67 on the guitar amp room mic, SD451 on percussion, and the RB4038 on the drums stereo room mic. And yeah, I saw that my mic muted. I just said that I really like the sound of the drum room on that one. It's kind of really nice and open. Cool. Cedric says, I think. Oh, so this is Sphere Linear on. That was actually the Neil McCabe track. So, and in fact, that one was tracked by Sean O'Graham, and it was the LD67 on those vocals.
67. I said 47.
Yeah, 67. Well, but the 67 is the warmer version of the 47, if you will. So it's especially the one that's in the Sphere Core collection is pretty dark and kind of a little bit, I don't know, grimy, if you will, and it's not as open sounding as some other 67s out there, and so that's kind of a nice. Whenever I want a condenser mic, a tube condenser, but I don't want sort of like the super bright sound of like a 251 or a C12, then the LD67 is a great choice. And of course, there's also the 67 NOS, which is a 67, but it's a different, it's a newer one that was reissued in the 1990s, and yeah, that's a lot more open sounding. So the LD67 is darker, and the 67 NOS is brighter and more open. And yeah, those are great mics for sure. Cool, man. Well, I think there's a lot of stuff to talk about, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just want to say that really been extremely great to work with you on this and get your feedback on these tracks and just kind of your comments. And hopefully we can keep this going and we get other artists and other producers on the live stream to comment on these community submissions. I just think it's great to have a place on these playlists, for these tracks to exist, and that list will grow over time for sure. And for people that are, in this case, into recording folk music, I think it gives you a pretty good idea of like what kind of sounds you can accomplish with the L22. And just an overview of like what people are doing with the mic. I think it's always great to hear what other people are doing. We tend to be in this bubble sometimes where I think it's good to do your own thing. But like for me at least, when I create music, it's also good to get a sense of like what's sort of left and right, and get a maybe sometimes even like a bit of a reality check of where you're actually at with your skill set and your production. So that's kind of what this is for. So yeah, I think that's been great fun. Like I said, we're gonna do a blog post about like this particular playlist and embed it on our website, and then I'll share this link in the comments as well to the Townsend Labs playlist on Spotify. And so you guys can go there and subscribe to that playlist, and then go through and listen in more detail, and have some fun with that. It's definitely a good playlist for like a, I don't know, rainy or winter afternoon or something like that with a cup of tea or cocoa. Cool. Well, Ian, I think you're gonna be busy in the next couple of weeks, hopefully doing more production and writing more songs and all that. And yeah, hopefully we can get together sometime again in person, I hope. Maybe just as a quick sort of preview, as I mentioned at the very beginning of our stream, we actually did get together in September And I visited you guys in Berlin, and we did like a whole day of video shoots. And there's quite a bit of content that we're working on with you guys that's going to be coming out. An interview and some like not necessarily tutorials, but like how you guys are working with the microphone. So both for Mighty Oaks fans and for recording engineers and producers and musicians who are into folk and acoustic music in general, I think this is going to be really, really cool to see that content coming out. So that would be probably in sometime towards the end of November or beginning of December, but I think most likely this year. So that'll be great fun. And as always, we have our Facebook group that I want to point you guys to. So we have this. We just announced this patent that we're already working on and that we got granted. And it's no secret at this point that we're working on new features for the Sphere plugin. So definitely make sure you guys subscribe to our newsletter. Make sure that you join the Facebook group, that you subscribe on YouTube, because there will be awesome new content coming out, and there will be some really cool announcements for anybody who already has an L22 or maybe is on the fence about it. So it's gonna be a busy fourth quarter for us for sure, and you guys all get to benefit from that. So, and then when in a couple of a little bit of time down the road, when all that's passed, then Ian can tell us what mic model he really likes of that new set.
Gladly.
Yes. Cool, man. Well, thank you so much. Thanks to all of you out there for joining us today. And definitely feel free to add some more music to the Spotify submissions form. Let us know what you're working on, share it on social, all of that good stuff. We'll make sure to repost on Instagram and Twitter and also all that. And those submissions, when you add them to the form, then we're definitely going to go through and we'll review them and we'll add them to the list. Whenever I add somebody to the list, I'm also going to reach out personally, so you're not going to miss it. So with all that being said, enjoy the rest of your Sundays, and we'll hopefully be back soon with another stream. And in the meantime, stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see each other soon. Thanks, Ian.
Yeah, keep making music, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get frustrated. Don't get bogged down. Just keep creating, for sure.
And go vote.
And go vote, yes. For those of you who are about to have an interesting week, let's put it that way. Cool, man. All right, everybody. Take care.
Take care, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you.